Hello people, and welcome back to another episode of Cities Skylines Modular Builds. We're having a wonderful day. And apologies, it has been a very long time. I think it's been about a month actually since we did one of these. Palaven has just been so much fun to build on. I've just had no desire to come in and plan a modular build. But we're here, finally. We are back today. Now, we are going to be doing something quite fun today. It's been on the list for quite a long time. We're going to be working with an oil industry area. So, of course, first thing we're going to need is oil. You'll find this anywhere on your map. If you're playing with the More Beautification mod, you can manually place this oil in. But you will find it naturally within the map anyway, represented, of course, by this enormous dark black spot, such as here. Eden Valley has a ton of oil if you are playing on Eden Valley. But either way, that's what we're going to do. So let's fly over. So as with any kind of major industrial area, you want to be building this pretty much straight into a highway, just due to the amount of traffic that they tend to produce. If you're having them travel through downtowns or suburbs or any other kind of minor low density road layout, you are going to have a pretty bad time. So I've just made myself a very ugly kind of basic interchange switch point here. It's super basic. We'll hook this into the highway any way that you see fit, and then we'll go ahead and start. So we're going to grab our medium industry road, and we're going to come out from our highway intersection by a distance of 850. That's going to reside about there. Then, from the corner, we're going to come out to the left-hand side, looking from the bird's eye view, by a distance of 600, which will sit nicely there. We're going to switch into our dirt road. We're going to grab a 2-lane gravel, and then we're just going to draw up a little bit like this. Then what we need to do, of course, is actually paint out our industrial area. So go ahead and just cover all of this stuff. Obviously, you will make this the size that you need it for your particular oil. And I'm also going to paint out a regular district as well on top of that industrial area. Just like this. And then we're also going to be using some cute base game industry stuff. So we're going to come across to our industrial specialization, and we are going to grab oil and make sure that that district is specialized as oil industry. You guys know what's coming, don't you? We've done this a million times before. Then of course we're going to jump into our oil industry tab and grab our oil industry main building, and we're going to place this onto this corner right here. So he's right up against the dirt road that we placed in, and you will know you are happy and ready to go if you can still squeeze your main road up alongside it. So that's kind of the angle and the design that you're looking for right now. Okay, super duper. Let's come ahead and grab our 2-lane gravel road again. What we're going to do is we're going to draw this up behind the main building, and then we're going to draw it across. So it comes right behind it. So you want to make sure that where you're placing your main building, you want to be pretty heavy on the oil where the main building is sat, because we're going to be actually extracting the oil from behind the main building with this design. Now you can use any of the extraction methods that you want. Obviously, if you want to use the offshore drilling platform, then this modular build won't apply to you because you need water to do that. I'm going to be running with the large oil pumps, however feel free to use the drilling rigs as well. It's more of a kind of the aesthetic purpose. Obviously the maximum capacity would be the large oil drilling rig. However, for the look of this thing, I do want the oil pumps in here, so that's what I'm going to run with. I'm going to have 2 of them right next to each other. And I'm going to draw my dirt road around them. And draw a box in. And then I'm going to do the same thing again behind them. So all in all, I'm going to have 4 oil pumps. And this is going to supply my industry area with enough oil for it to function, which is perfect. This is really all you need. Obviously, if you want to kind of go off and create a huge sprawling oil field, then by all means feel free to do that. But for me, I'm just going to be happy with these ones right here. Then I'm going to come back into my oil industry. I'm going to grab our oil industry fence, turn off all the snapping except for the angle. Then we're going to draw our fence all the way around this. Bring it in. And then we're just going to box off a little oil extraction area here. It's going to sit right behind it. You can literally, if you have, say, like a small pocket of oil on your map somewhere and you don't really want to turn it into like this huge, massive industrialized space, just do this. It's a great way of detailing a very micro industrial area, and you'll make oil out of it to export. Fantastic. So now we'll work on bringing the rest of the oil industry in. So we're going to draw with all our snapping on, of course, our main industrial road. We're going to bring it up to run parallel with the fence. Once you have that one in, bring it, touch there. There we go. So you'll have that in. So if you're kind of wondering the distance from each of my junctions here, 1,400 is from this junction to this one right here. Okay. And then with this one, what we're going to do now is introduce a little mini one-way system. So we're going to switch to our 2-lane small industrial road. And then just draw him out a little bit. And then you want to come down the side of this fence right here. So you'll have kind of this design going on right now. And then what I'm also going to do is draw out this kind of main road here by another distance of, just go for 1,000 right now. So your bird's eye view will be looking something a little bit like that at the moment. And that's easy to follow. Then we're going to bring this down and bring it down to a little bit, and then what you want to do is turn off all your snapping except for angle. Then we're going to bring this down. Now for those that have been following Paladin, you'll know what we're going to do here. It's a great little detailing tip for your industrial areas. I'm going to come as close to the main road as I can get it. And then we're going to bring the small industrial road parallel. So what this does is it just creates a nice little tight, close together road network. And when we place our buildings along here, it's also going to help add to that kind of industrial theme, you know. Then we'll come back and work about oil industry fence. And then what we want to do here is draw this in as close to the road as we can grab it. Again, just snap into the angle will help you tremendously here. And then bring it through like that. So fences are fantastic at detailing your little areas. You will appreciate it. And then bring that one down again. Because at least in England, kind of oil refineries are really secure areas. You can't just walk into these places. So lots of fences will really help kind of bring that theme to life. Now there are two resources we can produce with oil industry areas, which are plastics and petroleum, which your factories will need to operate. So there's obviously kind of a baby version and a daddy version of these. Paralysis, is that how you pronounce that? I don't know how to say that word. You know, they both produce petroleum, but one produces it at a larger frequency, a larger volume, and likewise with plastics as well. So I'm going to use the largest plastic production rate of the cracker plant. I'm going to place this right on this road that we just drew in. So you have it like that. Now you can see that these assets come with their own fences as well, so you're almost getting this double fence layer between the two types of road. And again, what we want to do is we'll expand our road network out a little bit again. Then I'm going to place in another one right next to it. So this is all you'll really need to produce plastics, depending obviously how much plastic your city is demanding. In my experience, 2 cracker plants is pretty much enough for what you'll need. Again, your city may vary. And then what we'll do is we'll bring our main industrial road with all our snapping on. We'll bring in parallel with this one as well. And what we can do here is we're going to add on a small roundabout, and we're going to pop it onto the end of our main road here, if I can do it. There we go. Of course, don't forget just to upgrade these roads into your industrial roads. Now, industrial roads, they really help add with the theme and the feel of industrial areas. Okay, and then let's go ahead and draw this one up. Just come up by 300 for right now, and then we'll come back and work on this bit a little later. So now that we have those in, I'm going to go ahead and draw in another one-way road directly behind the cracker plants. Also bring this one out as well, put them in. So your 2 cracker plants, they're perfectly boxed in right up against the main road, and they also have a road behind them. And we'll do something with the one-way system in a little moment here as well. So now I'm going to draw out from this road behind the 2 cracker plants by a distance of 10. And have something that looks a little bit like that. Then we're going to come ahead and grab my waste oil refining plants and place 2 of these right about there. And then we're going to box in again, draw out a touch further actually. Then we're going to come directly behind. And again, we want to have 2 more either side. And then come out from behind again. So keeping them quite close together, and again we can see these oil industry fences starting to match one another against the road. All these kind of pipes and, you know, super industrialized looking buildings will really help keep them all quite close together. The one-way system will help disperse the traffic kind of as it needs to flow into different directions. And we can take this road off. I'm going to draw this one-way road out so it runs up parallel with the roundabout road. Bring it up to there, make sure we're flowing. You know, the people that are coming in, this is a one-way. They cannot exit out of this side here. See the little stop signs. Okay. Right now your bird's eye view, be looking a little bit something like that. This is quite a small, compact modular build, as modular builds go. And then we'll bring that one into there as well. Now with this space here, you have another options. You can continue to place in your production buildings if you want to. Take a look at your industrial area, see what you're lacking. However, if you are playing with, I believe, the Green Cities DLC, I'm not sure, I will double check and put it up on screen now, however. The solar updraft tower is a really nice asset to use because it almost shares the same texture as these little smokestacks, you know. Kind of see it there. It works really nicely integrated in with it. Now, you may find with some of these kind of quirkier power plants, I often have a little more trouble placing them. I tend to just have like a nuclear power complex in my map. And a lot of these assets go kind of neglected. They don't really get used. You know, why not use one of the power assets as almost decoration, you know? I think it works pretty nicely. And you've got all these kind of big solar panels here as well. Very industrial looking asset. Then alongside this main road here, we are going to go ahead and grab our oil storage, oil industry storage. We're going to place 2 of these in. So we're going to have one adjacent to power plant here, leaving in a 1 tile gap. And then again, one here as well. So you will get a touch of traffic backing up on this road as these begin to fill up. Once they are filled, it will disperse and they'll continue to flow in their relevant directions. Don't worry about that, you'll see it in a minute once I unpause the game. And then again, in a similar fashion to what we've been doing, I don't know why I'm in the public transport tab, we're going to go ahead and grab our oil industry fence. I'm going to hook these together. Yeah, just join them together like that. Don't have to, but it's a nice little touch. And if you want to from these, you can also continue to expand your kind of fence network around. You're playing with the more beautification props, you can drop some stuff in here, but we're going to do something with this space anyway, so don't worry about that too much just yet. So for right now, this is what we're kind of looking at here. A little bare bones at the moment, but we will fill it up, don't worry. Okay, so now we'll have a little discussion about some of the smaller industry stuff. From this road right here, I'm going to draw out, and I'm just going to stick to my angle as close as I can grab it. There we go. And then one down here as well. And this will just generate us a couple of little different tiles. Go ahead and zone them as industry. You can do a variety of patterns if you want, just kind of the odd single one. And then what you'll notice here is you'll just get some almost like smaller, dirtier assets that almost act as prop detailing for the rest of the industry area. Like I said, for those that follow Palaven, you know we did something very similar with our forest industry in that city. You guys really enjoyed it, so it's nice to kind of see that in action. We'll get another one in here as well, see what kind of spawns in. Yeah, so we're going to get an actual building in here as well. You see, they're very similar to the Industries DLC assets, and it's just a nice, it's another supporting building, you know. So very much use this zone specialized industry as detailing around the rest of your actual Industries DLC stuff. We need to come through and turn off our traffic lights, so come into your traffic routes and junctions and knock them all off. The one-way system will keep everybody flowing. And we'll see now everyone will start to just flow in. So you can see we're starting to store up here. Bear in mind as well, these oil storage caverns, they will be siphoned out by these guys here. So they'll be able to keep feeding one another. And we'll see now. You'll see what I mean by the traffic just kind of logs up a little bit on this road here. Just as they fill up, but once they're full, this won't happen anymore. They're all flowing through. And out. Let's take a second here to observe the traffic flow. If you guys already know a better one-way flow design system, then feel free to go ahead and throw that in. But otherwise, this is a nice little flow. And considering that industries needs a major rebalance at the moment anyway, it's nice to see it actually flowing. Everyone's supplied. These storages are filling up. And yeah, this guy is about to have a delivery. So yeah. We'll continue to go. Everyone's going to merge off the highway here. This one doesn't really matter if you leave it on or off. It's not too big of an issue. Okay, so let's dive into the wonderful world of unique factories for the first time in this particular build. And we're going to draw in... We're going to use 2 of them today. So there are 2 factories that rely particularly heavily on an oil industry. One being the Petroleum Refinery, which requires petroleum, plastics and metal. You will need a functioning ore industrial area in order to get metal, so bear that in mind before you place it. And similarly as well, just kind of have a little mooch through. You might want to use the ones I'm using. You know, that one's using plastics, but it's also got glass, metal and plain timber, so may not be ideal for oil industry area. The sneaker factory wants petroleum and plastic, so we can supply it with that right here. But we'll start out with the Petroleum Refinery for right now. What I'm going to do is I'm going to draw out from this little point at the end of the roundabout here. And we'll draw down just by a distance of 600 for the meantime. Then we're going to double up on the road here. Push this back a little bit. And then I want to bring this one right up. Again, just snap into my angle so you can kind of see the pattern that we're going to repeat on this side here. And then I'm going to bring this up roughly to about there. And then we'll go ahead and grab that unique factory. There it is, the Petroleum Refinery. And we'll place this in right on the corner. Now, I would suggest that you place this alongside the highway because you get a really nice industrial vibe as you drive past it, you know? It's a great asset to view from the highway. If you have it placed a little further back, then you know you're not going to be kind of generating this view. So, you know what you're driving past here, right, as you're coming along the highway. You're seeing all these red and white smoke towers beginning to kind of appear. Okay, so he's going to fill it with petroleum, plastic and metal. I don't have a metal, an ore industry area active in this city at the moment, so that won't fill up for me. So if you are going to place a petroleum refinery, do make sure that you have metal being produced. Otherwise you'll have a sad time. And then he's going to fill out like that. Then if you do find that your areas are lacking somewhat, say for example, if you do have metal but it's taken a while to get here, then what you can do with this road along here, we'll bring it out again, take it down to about there, and then adjacent with that, come back into our industry, grab yourself a warehouse. Medium warehouse tends to be enough, if you can fit one in. If not, let's go for maybe a couple of smalls. It's really kind of up to you as to which ones you want to use and what kind of space you have to play with yourself. And then come ahead and then just set it to store metals. And then the petroleum refinery will constantly be supplied with petroleum and plastic just because of where it is. But you know, asking this small warehouse to stock metal will make sure that it has a continuous supply, and it will it'll be all right. You won't need to worry about it too much if you have just a little storage yard here for it. Another unique factory that works nicely is also the sneaker, which is here. So we can place this one in. And this actually works really nicely up alongside this bit of main road here. What we can do is actually take this away, and then we'll put this into a one-way system. And then we can draw it around the back, and then hook it in there. Again, the sneaker factory will require, I think it's, yeah, so it wants crops and paper alongside petroleum and plastic. So make sure that you have a functioning farm and forest industry within your city in order for this to function. So now we'll have a little discussion about the right hand side of this place. We're going to come ahead and grab our one-way industrial roads again. We'll just draw out a little bit right here. And what I like to put here, this is extra storage. It's probably overkill in terms of storage, but it will just mean that you have a whole bunch of oil ready to go. The small crude oil tank farm will work wonderfully. We'll place this in right here. It's also a really nice looking asset, you know. It's got these big circular, almost like gas drums. I guess they're oil drums, aren't they? Like huge. I don't know, silo? I think silo is the word, right? I think these are silos. So place those in, and then go ahead and draw the old box around them again. You'll be surprised to know. And I'm going to just come to my angle, and again, you know what's coming. We're going to draw up as close as we can. You want to make sure that that one is a one-way, because we're not hooking them in just there yet. And again, right behind it. You can kind of see how they make this pattern up alongside the road here. I think that's pretty nice. And then what you want to do is just repeat that pattern on the other side of the road as well. So I'm going to come back up and draw this into that point. And then again, I'll place in 2 more on this side of the road. Go ahead and draw in another road like that. Actually just get it. Here we were 210. There we go. Make sure it's symmetrical. Then you can have them in a little bit like that. So from the bird's eye view, you've got a nice little bit of symmetry. Now they've also got these kind of like pipes running along them, you know, so it's going to help with adding to that nice dense oil area. I don't know why I keep calling it ore, my apologies. Then again, we'll draw this one out. And then we'll just draw in a little bit of a box around it. Keep the flow system going. And keep everyone flowing in one direction. You don't really want them to be cutting back on themselves. And very similar with our storage caverns. We're going to see a little bit of traffic back up just as these begin to store up oil. But it will soon go away once they begin to reach capacity. And then they will just help to keep all our production buildings here supplied. And we'll start to see something going. But for right now, with just these buildings in, the oil industry is making 21,000 weekly profit. Then we're going to do something really similar, again, with our kind of this side of the road. So it's a little bit empty over here right now. And then we'll grab our oil industry maintenance. Place that in. And that's just going to be a nice looking asset, again, to sit alongside the road. If you want to flip it around, you can. I'll have it here, you know. Up to you. Actually kind of looks better from this angle, just because you have the fence up alongside the road. So bear in mind how your corners are going to look with each of these assets placed on them. You'll be sure to have a nice time. So what I might actually do is I'm going to draw my road around this perfectly. There we go, and then just come to the angle. And then again, the last building we can place in here is going to be the oil industry workers barracks. Placing this in up alongside the main road, again, will just help to decorate the entrance, you know, of your oil industrial area. I will get it right eventually one time. But yeah, you know, this is obviously where they live. But it's also a nice little kind of almost office looking building as well. You know, it's not immediate oil as soon as you walk in. There is a couple of little supportive buildings. We've got a nice little design going on with the warehouse here as well. Yeah, so they kind of go. So obviously I've still not got any metal because I don't have metal in this city just yet. But if you do, then obviously you will be supplied with it, and you'll be storing it here as well if you've gone for the warehouse option. That's kind of it, guys. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to detail up. I'm going to carry on using some of this zoning in very selective places. They even have these little movements as well, which is cool. And throw in a bunch of rocks around here as well and trim off some of these road networks and then just kind of get things looking a little tidier and more presentable. And what I'll probably do is draw in quite a large boxed fence around this thing as well, just so people wouldn't be able to walk into it from the outside from more of a realism point of view. But it will also help with our detailing as well. So as always, we'll be right back. Alright guys, that is going to do it for today. I want to thank you all so much for watching. If you've enjoyed, a like below is always appreciated. Equally as much if you haven't enjoyed it, please feel free to leave a dislike as well. These oil industrial areas can be made to look quite nice, although detailing with trees can be quite hard due to the pollution, but there are a couple of places that you can squeeze them in, so if you want to kind of go for that nice tree detailed angle, then feel free to throw them in. Otherwise, just be wary of the pollution. And you can see how the zoned industry helps to add a touch of detail just to a couple of different areas. Detailing the industry areas isn't the easiest thing in the world to do with the unmodded game, but the zoned industry can certainly help it. Hang around for the rest of the outro tag. I'm sure this place is going to look great at night time with all these kind of smokestacks lit up. It should be pretty sweet to see. But otherwise, I'll leave it there. I want to thank you all so much for watching. And as always, enjoy the rest of your day.